I participated in many service projects within my hometown community, and I could not be more grateful for the Craine House being my first service learning project within my new community. They have improved the lives of the women by offering them something better, something to strive for. These work-release women and Benny mothers follow rules, continue to show respect, and have developed outstanding character from the Craine House. The Craine House was completely new territory for me, meaning I had never been near or even inside a facility like it. There are several different work facilities in Indianapolis with programs similar to the Craine House, like the Duval Residential Center. There is a great deal of commitment and responsibility that is incorporated in the everyday life of being a work-release prisoner, and I was not totally aware of that until the Craine House. These women have jobs and strict rules to follow, and we saw the sadness of what happens when you don't follow those rules when completing our service learning project. A woman was taken out in cuffs for an unknown reason, as a majority of our group was expecting to be greeting the mothers with our supplies for their children. In my group, we collected supplies needed for the women's children in the facility. So we collected bags and boxes of clothes, diapers, wipes, and other miscellaneous items. Collecting those items provided me with a sense of compassion because I was not only helping the under preschool age children, but their mothers had less to stress about financially as well. That was a humbling feeling, and the service learning experience of my TLC class made me step back and worry less about exams and more about actual living people. In Professor Garcia's American Criminal Justice class in the TLC, many different concepts and theories involved with the criminal justice system were introduced. The most relevant concept that effectively enhanced my understanding was implicit bias. Sadly, since the Craine House was on lockdown when we were all supposed to interact, I was unable to ask any of them about noticing implicit biases aimed towards them. Yet, my brother went to jail and rehab several times in his short life, so I've seen firsthand how re-entering to society from incarceration is vexing. My experience with learning about the abundant amount of aspects to the American criminal justice system has shaped my understanding of the world around me. In Alice Jones's class in the TLC, we had many group discussions that served the purpose of finding our overall understanding of the things going on in our world today. Our discussions aided in my understanding of the impact of the criminal justice system in the real world. Ms. Jones's class focused on how the prison and the criminal justice system directly and indirectly impact civilians. After talking about some women in more recent history, like Andrea Yates, the mother who drowned her 5 children, I understand that the effects of incarceration or detainment can either be beneficial or won't be beneficial for their families. Lastly, in Mr. Jason Housley's class, we learned about the historical experiences African Americans endured. The oppressive Jim Crow laws led many Black Americans to the point where they no longer wanted to be Black and saw being white as being better. Men and women in the incarceration system are affected by the history of white supremacy, either by being discriminated against or being mass incarcerated. As discussed in lecture, W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington greatly influenced Black American culture today, but their culture's overall oppressed history in America really set the guidelines. Due to the historical context I received on African American culture in A150, I better understand the racial conflicts in today's society. The service learning aspect to my TLC was definitely a stressful one, but it simply added to the variety of intellect we all received. Serving those who have served time made me feel like I was giving them respect they had long gone without. Too many times in history are incarcerated people treated poorly. For instance, the historical experiences of African Americans has undoubtedly attributed to the mass incarceration of Blacks today. My college experience was not what I expected, but who expects perfection when the social structure of our nation was based on racial disparities and continues to impact civilians today? From learning the cultural and historical background of mass incarceration to understanding the modern justice system and then applying that context to everyday events, I now feel better prepared for my college career. The Color of Crime TLC served a purpose of personal and collegiate growth, bettering my chances for the working world and social events.